Alright everyone, welcome to the 20s again. It's been a century since we've seen them. It's been a while. Hopefully we get Art Deco and flappers back. Hopefully we get some sanity in politics back. It looks like with Trump on Iran, we're going to get that. I will be covering that actually as the main political video of the day. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a unique slew and actually at least one, possibly even two extra videos. I'm about to cross over the threshold on Brighteon actually into the next upload tier, which for me basically means unlimited uploads because I'll be able to finish all my backups, well, basically in a day or two. It's going to be interesting times, so you've got quite a few positive markers going into the 20s. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I expected going into this next decade. It can be hard to predict though, because if I look back at like 2010, if I had told people at the time what I expected in terms of the online experience, my work, my life in general in 2010, I never would have guessed, most of the weird eccentric shit that's happened over the 2010s that would have happened at all. I wouldn't have guessed I would become an editor. I never would have guessed at having any considerable success with regards to video materials. The cat's singing a little bit right now, can't be helped. So I'm not going to bother predicting too much about my personal life, mainly about the professional side of things, which is generally speaking I expect to stay the course. Investing in alt tech has paid off huge dividends. It's clear now mainline tech firms, those that are still growing at all, are suppressing creative users that have anything to do with current events and news especially, which disproportionately affects people like me. It's no longer really possible to get ahead on YouTube. And part of the reason why the subscriber count has slowed to a crawl as far as its growth, I have a feeling is because more people are finding me on alt tech at this point. They're simply not finding me on YouTube, they're finding me elsewhere. And I'm not the only person for whom this is definitely true. I know there are a bunch of other content creators on the platform, some much larger than me, that are basically dead in the water when it comes to channel growth. All of us began experiencing this around the exact same time. I'm going to hazard a guess it's not because we suddenly just lost our mojo and started doing things differently or it became boring. It's because of suppression. It's because of algorithms. There's a reason why YouTube decided to take off live sub counts. There's a reason why that happened exactly at the same time. It's to cover up the fact that it was happening. That being said, on BitChute, I'm at 74,000 subscribers. Most people on mainline sites never get even close to that number, and here I am on BitChute achieving it. I would expect at some point in the next year to hit 100,000 on the platform fairly easily. I think it'll come probably faster rather than more slowly. On Mines, things are definitely growing. They're beginning to get more crypto involved. They're branching out into other things. Gab is still growing, although I would say Gab has, maybe in some ways slowed itself down with its Twitter banter. It is at the very least interesting. I'd love to check out D-Live some more. Now that I've got more modern technology at my disposal, it would be at least possible for me to go back to doing live streaming. I'd like to usher in a little bit of the old and a little bit of the new. I'd like to do more MRE videos. That's something that a lot of people have requested, they find interesting. There will be a lot more garden content. You've got to keep in mind one thing though as we enter this decade, at least for the first half or so of the first year of the 2020s, at least for the first half of this year. I'm in transit a lot because I'm between countries at the moment, specifically Amsterdam and Rutland. It's quite a distance. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to do the best that I can to coordinate things garden-wise and as far as like sort of the Vermont stuff, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. It's like last night I was like, well, if I recorded all these explosions out the window because it's New Year's, it'd be quite interesting, I think, to people. But then I'm like, you know what? At some point I got to say, I've just got to be able to sit there and enjoy things a little bit on my own once in a while and not have to whip out a smartphone or a webcam. It becomes too much because what it feels like sometimes, and actually I'm doing some more music with Gifts Ungiven, and one of the songs is sort of loosely about this basic theme, is sometimes I feel like a cyborg, to tell the truth, and I'm more tech disconnected. It's funny, I make a living online. I make a living through publishing on demand services through Amazon and through video making, YouTube, BitChute and stuff. I'm more tech disconnected than most people. Like, I don't carry my phone around if I can help it. If I'm out in public and stuff, I try to avoid anything computer related, anything phone related especially. I fucking hate smartphones. I hate the smartphone generation. I think it's degenerated away from the more enjoyable user experience that we had 10, 15 years ago. That being said, sometimes I still feel like I'm an Android or something. I feel like, the Google and Facebook and all these groups have made me a piece of proprietary computing software, sort of something to be bought and sold. So for the 20s, I'm going to seek to do much the same as I have been, although I do intend to increase the pace of my editing at some point as well. This time of year it slows down a little bit because it's like, it's January, it's cold, it's dark, I just don't feel as energetic. Really, I wish I was in bed right now, to tell the truth, hibernating for the next, 6 weeks at least. Towards mid-February things get better. They get a little brighter, a little bit warmer, there's a little bit more greenery. Right now, this climate's warmer technically than Rutland this time of year, and yet there still is not a whole lot of green out right now. The fog is so thick you can barely see down the road, actually. It could be remnant fireworks smoke as well in there. For the 20s, I expect big things to happen. I'm going to return to MREs, a bit of gardening. I'm going to be bringing back some of the other series, doing some more music, more books, more everything. I'm firing on both cylinders. I want to spend the next 10 years working even harder than I did for the last 10. Partially because of pure ambition. It's just rewarding, it's amusing, it's not just work for me, it's also how I get enjoyment. I love the internet. I just wish the internet wouldn't keep fucking changing and getting worse when it was already perfected around 2015. The internet was perfect in 2015. That'll be remembered as the golden year of the internet as far as content creation goes. As far as alt tech goes, though, it's definitely picking up the slack. It's taking time, and it'll keep taking time, but it's doing better than it did before. The state of alt tech even a year ago was pretty dicey. Now it's much more stable. I look forward to talking to other creators as well. I think doing some more streaming, making some more appearances. And in the last year, it's been less, relatively speaking, than it was in like 2018, 2017. Partially because I just didn't feel with it quite as much. I didn't feel like I was enjoying it quite as much. I think I'm getting back into the swing of things after a little bit of a lull in creativity there. So yeah, onward to the 20s. You should definitely go check out some Art Deco. Fucking look at Art Deco design. Bring that style back in both art and in architecture. Be a better world. Eliminate all the postmodern crap. Just fucking bulldoze it. It's like, in Europe, I guess the meme is like basically they took down the church to make this giant like orb or cube-shaped, postmodern museum or a migrant facility maybe. You should reverse that. Don't bring back classical architecture. Bring back the 1920s. Build like Empire State Building clones all over the world. That's what we need. We need some more human ingenuity. The 20s are interesting because you got to understand, pre-atomic era. During the Second World War, you can't say that that's a height of civilization moment. People are slaughtering each other. Great Depression comes before that. The 30s are marked by worldwide economic disaster. The 20s, the Roaring 20s specifically, prior to the stock market crash, were technically the height of human ingenuity until very recently. Technically, that's the pinnacle of civilization. You could argue that, in the post-nuclear era with the idea of MAD, that is the beacon of civilization. The 1920s were the peak of humanity. Human culture peaked in the mid-1920s and has been going downhill, technically speaking, in many respects ever since. That's about all. Peace out.